Good morning. Welcome back to Coffee and Colorful Conversation. Oh my gosh, look at my mug and my shirt match. I am so 80s. So completely cheesy today. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back. So I did a thing. I've been wanting to do this for a long, long time, and it's one of those things that you just keep saying, I need to do that sometime, and you just don't ever do it. Most people would not have this as an aspiration, but for me, I got tired of hearing people say, on a lot of the Facebook forums, like my client came in, she has box color on her hair, and now she wants this, and I just want to, I don't even want to do it. I want to tell her I'm booked, and I'm like, but the box color is not the issue. It's that her hair's too dark is the issue. It's not that it came out of a box. So I wanted to practice what I preach and really know what I was talking about. I'm like, I've never used box color, so I don't really know what I'm talking about. Maybe it is worse. Maybe it is awful. So I felt like I should have been incognito with, like a Jackie Kennedy scarf and a big pair of glasses. But luckily, I don't know many people here in Florida, so nobody would care that I was buying box color. But it felt dirty. I almost felt like I was going to the creepy, dirty magazine section of a store, or like the Beat It section of a video store with the dirty movies. I don't know. I think it's because I've been a hairdresser for so long and I've been conditioned to think that this was the bad guy and so evil. I don't know. I felt really weird doing it. So I went in, it was Walgreens. It's right in my corner. So the fact that I waited so long is crazy to me, but it is what it is. I kept being like, oh, it's COVID. I don't want to go into a drugstore if I don't have to. All that was going through my head. I'm like, just for a hair color experiment. So I took a deep breath, went in, and I picked the darkest shade I could find. This is 3C, and I picked Preference by L'Oreal because this happens to be what I see the most on commercials, what I see the most in magazines, and this is what my mom used to use. And I remember the smell of it in the bathroom. I remember the mess of it. She used to have a hair color smock that she wore that was like one of those old school house coats, and it looked like a painter's apron. It was splattered with color, as was our sink, our floors, our towels. It was everywhere. So I can't even believe I became a hairdresser. It was probably to put her out of her misery of having to do that. I just remember her going, oh, I hate doing this. She was 100% gray by the time she was like 30. Like she was really white gray and very resistant. So she stopped going to the salon because, she had 3 kids, money was tight. She did it herself. So that smell, I cannot believe how much, how certain childhood smells just like punch you in the face every once in a while, and it takes you right back to that memory. As soon as I opened the box, you could actually smell it in the box right away. And I unboxed it and I did a quick video. I did a video for my members in the Hair Color Secrets Insider, and some of you are probably on here right now, so I'm not going to give away too much, but I opened it up and I acted as if I am a client that is interested in coloring my hair. It was interesting because I was like, trying to look on the box to see, is it definitely permanent? Because some of them will say semi-permanent and then it has a developer in there. So they didn't claim to be semi-permanent, but they really weren't clear on what it was as well. Like they just said up to 8 weeks of fade defying color, which we know it's not going to be 8 weeks, but that's their claim. And it says level 3 permanent, 1 application, and it says with shine serum. So of course she's got the beautiful shimmery, shiny, healthy Kardashian dark hair. And I purposely chose one of my dolls that had highlights in her hair because the reality of the everyday client is when they reach for the box during COVID, they don't realize that they don't have all one color starting out. Most of them, if they've been to a salon, have some sort of dimension. So they would not know that you really should fill the hair. And there's a lot of steps between you being my color and her color. Now she wasn't my color, but she did have a lot of highlights in there, more of like a level 7, 8 highlight. So I mixed it according to the manufacturer's directions to the T. I was like, I have to take my hair colorist brain off and put the everyday person buying box color brain. And let me tell you, it was not easy at all. From beginning to end, I struggled with this. So I opened it up. The instructions are in here and I read over them as if I had never colored my hair before. And they do finally, because I remember when, back in the day when I had seen someone coloring their hair and I grabbed the instructions, it was only a first time application. And it said, apply at roots to end, set the timer for 30 minutes, wash it out. And I was like, oh, that's going to be really deep on those porous ends, blah, blah, blah. So they do finally have a root touch-up application instructions and a full head application. They do not talk about if you have highlights in your hair, blah, blah, blah. They don't get into that. So I was like, okay, I'm going to pretend I don't know. So it says apply immediately to dry, unwashed hair. Apply color at your root area and through your ends until completely saturated. Use enough mixture to saturate your hair. Loosely pile your hair on top of your head. Leave on for 25 minutes. This is where it gets interesting. The next step says rinse out. When time is up, add a small amount of warm water to hair and work into a lather. Rinse until water runs clear. Then they have this tube that looked like a tube of color for us, but actually a lot skinnier, but a decent size. And that was number 3, the conditioner. So the next step is apply enough Care Supreme Color and Shine Conditioner, number 3, to thoroughly saturate your hair. Massage through hair, leave on for 2 to 3 minutes, then rinse with cool water. Note, there is no shampoo going on here. I read and read and I was like, did I miss something? Like, where's the part that says shampoo? So I take my girl who had stained forehead. I was making a mess. It was a totally different consistency than professional color. It was gel. It was very thick. The smell, it's still, I'm telling you, the smell is so familiar. So I started applying her, and as a colorist of 35 years, I'm using my nozzle to suction the hair. I'm applying it just at zone 1 carefully. And I was like, no, I am not that person. I am a client. So I started just smushing and smushing and smushing. And what I found interesting was, even though I smushed and it was all at the same time, look at how much reddish tones are in there. And it was very uneven. It did not cover. There's like a band line. It almost looks like a shine line of like this reddish color. It's not reading on this camera very well, but it's very not covered in a lot of spots. And I saturated a lot, but again, I did not fill it in any way. Like over here is probably better. No, it's still not really showing on this camera, but you can see those later pieces peeking through. It wasn't a complete dark application. So that was using the entire bottle, smushing, 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 piling on top of the head, following their instructions. So she's just dark and stained. And it says, simply wipe your skin with a warm cloth. Well, this girl was wiped right away and she still has brutal stains. So the thing that bothered me the most, other than the fact that they're saying don't shampoo it, was the strong ammonia. Like, I literally was applying it like this. I had to turn my head, and I'm thinking, we breathe harsh chemicals every single day, but I've never had to turn my head. My eyes were burning. My throat felt tickly and scratchy. Like, I was like, oh my God, how much ammonia is in this color? Now, I never claimed to be a chemist, still don't. No idea how much ammonia is in here. I'd have to do some homework and maybe contact L'Oreal and see if they'll give me some info on that. But for sure, something stronger in here than we have in our professional arsenal that caused that reaction to applying it. I couldn't wait to get away from her. I left her outside to process. I applied her outside, thank God, because I knew I was going to be messy, and I knew it's level 3 and I have brand new floors. So I did end up getting it on my patio floor, which my husband's not happy about, but it's a whole other story. So she's timing. It's 25 minutes. I came inside and ate my lunch. I was like, I need to get away from her. So if I had a bunch of clients with that stuff on their head, I would not be able to work that way long term. It would be awful. So the lesson here is, why, my biggest question is, why did they not recommend shampooing? So I go to rinse her, and these massive bubbles are coming out of her head. So what I'm guessing is that there's some sort of shampoo base built into the color, because they know the client isn't going to fully saturate the way that we do. it's this shampoo type base because they know that they're smushing. You know how people used to do that in the old school, like just smush it through the ends, add a little water and smush it through the ends. I almost feel like that's what's going on here, why they say don't shampoo. When I hit the head with water, it was the longest I've ever had to rinse someone's hair in my entire career. It just would not stop bleeding color. Like color was just pouring out of it. And it said till the water runs clear, which I know to do as a professional. It would not run clear. There were bubbles and suds, and it was just like the smell. I was like, this is absolutely awful. I don't know how much women like to save on their color, but for me, I would just find someone that, gives an inexpensive retouch. I would never, ever, ever do that to myself, ever. I think I would rather go gray than put that stuff on my hair. So the point is, I did this because now today I'm going to test out 3 different ways to remove that black color off of that doll head. I, as a professional, know there's highlights under there. I also know that her natural color at her base was not touched. So I want to see, when I use the color removers, the 3 different types, is it going to affect the natural color that's underneath? Is it going to get me to that horrible blanch stage? Is it going to simply lift off the color that I put on? So that's the lesson that I'm putting into the membership. These are the crazy things that I do. If you're not already a member, what are you waiting for? And speaking of memberships, so much gratitude to all of you who joined the Ultimate Hairstylist Mentorship. It means the world to me. We had an amazing launch on Sunday. So many of you showed up live in spite of me picking Super Bowl Sunday. Can you tell all I care about is hair color, and I could care less about football? It wasn't even on my radar. I planned this date 6 months ago, thinking middle of February, right around Valentine's Day, right when your New Year's resolutions have completely faded off and you're just in the dumps with the cold weather and the snow and you need some motivation, and it's the beginning of the year. Those were my thoughts, not Super Bowl Sunday. But in spite of Super Bowl Sunday, we had almost 200 of you show up live for us. We had most of our mentors. We have over 20 mentors involved in this project. And my heart is so full that it's been so well embraced by both the mentors and the mentees. The amount of love notes and outpouring of gratitude for this platform has completely exceeded my expectation of people embracing this idea of mine. It's been weighing on me for years. I've been driving my family absolutely insane talking about it. I've talked about it on Clubhouse to people. I've talked about it how I talked about it back in my Periscope days, and now it's here and it's alive and well, and we are having an amazing time already. It's only been a few days, and I can see on the dashboard how many people are diving in and watching the videos and getting value immediately from it. So if you have not joined yet, what in God's name are you waiting for? It is free. It is amazing. Our mentors are amazing. I got the chills the whole entire time. Every mentor that introduced themselves, I had chills the entire time, because the intention is so pure that we care about this industry so much, and we're so tired of people only making ends meet, like minimum wage, not being able to afford a new iPhone or a nice car or a dinner out with your family. You're just barely scratching by and paying your bills. It's because you need more support and more education and more mentorship. And that is what has been missing. And every one of us mentors has had huge success in spite of not having those strong mentors. We did not have that. We had to scratch through on our own, on our hands and knees, crawling in our field and what we were doing. If we didn't have that passion, we wouldn't be here to now share it with you. So much gratitude. And as I said, if you did not make the launch, we want to keep this free as long as we can. And the way that we can keep it free is for you to share the amazing platform with other stylists. If we have to start to pay for Facebook ads and Google ads and all of those things, and an ads manager, and all the things that go into ads are very expensive. All we need you to do is, when you're in a forum and you see somebody bitching about a no-show, or having a corrective service go crazy bad, someone that's ready to quit, that's like so depressed they can't pay their bills, they're working at a chain salon and they're miserable, and what do? And you just feel for them. The empathy is there, but you don't know how to help them. All you have to do is drop that link saying, join the Hairstylist Ultimate Mentorship. Here's the link. You can send them to my website, expertcolorsolutions.com. We're happy to have them join. And the beauty of the way it's set up is it doesn't matter when you join. You start at point one. You know, it's like, this is your first video. It doesn't matter if you join 2 months from now, the day of the launch, or 6 months from now. That library is going to be there for you, and those mentors are going to be there for you. But you want to join sooner than later, because the live events are where all the magic happens. I've had a lot of you write to me and say, I can't make it on Sunday, but is there going to be a replay? There is and was a replay for the launch party. The live events, the replay will make no sense to you, because we go into breakout rooms, and breakouts cannot be recorded on Zoom. So you're gonna want to be there in person. You're going to be able to ask Vivian McKinder and David Kinnigson and Taylor Jameson and all of these mentors, Ann Mincy, who is like, she's been in our industry for over 30 years doing keynotes at Redken Symposium. She's amazing. We have so many amazing mentors, and they're live. You're going to be able to talk to them like I'm talking to you right now, but I'm going to be able to see you, and you're going to be able to ask your question. I mean, when have you ever in the history of the beauty industry had that opportunity? I don't think you have. If you have, I stand corrected, but I haven't. I have not been given that opportunity. I've been given the opportunity to sit in on a webinar where I can type into the chat. This is completely different. So show up for the live events. You will not be sorry. So that is my rant for today. The box color experiment was really interesting. To my members, I see Michael. Michael, thank you for all of your amazing notes. Michael has written a note to every single mentor in the dashboard, thanking them for their time and expertise. And I just love to see the interaction and the engagement. That's what fuels us as the mentors, is that energy, the energy exchange. And I talked about that in the launch. Money is energy. So people say, oh my gosh, what's the catch? How is it free? That's how it's free. We're exchanging energy. You're bringing your energy to us. We're bringing your energy to you. And that's the exchange. And that's what makes it so beautiful. It's free all around. It's a passion project. It's necessary. It's something that has been needed in the industry, and the sense of community that take all of us mentors out of it and just think about the Facebook community alone. People that are joining this mentorship are hungry for connection. They're hungry for support. They're hungry for that camaraderie that we used to have back in the 80s and 90s. We used to work in salons with 25 people. The music was pumping. The salon was packed with clients. The energy was high. There was no masks, no protocols, spraying Lysol up in the air all over the place. We didn't have any of those issues, and it was fun, and the passion and the energy was palpable. You could feel it as soon as you walked into a salon. Now you have these little tiny, everybody's behind their little door in their suite, and they're alone if they don't have a client, and they're just sitting there isolated, scrolling on social media. You can get ideas on Instagram. You can get techniques on there, little snippets, but you're not going to get that face-to-face, true caring mentorship of a conversation of, there's a whole section on the dashboard from yours truly called If I Could Turn Back Time. You guys know I love my Cher, and I love to sing like Cher. So I was like, you know what? I want to do a whole section on if I could turn back time, I would ... And there's many, many things that I would do differently, only because I am 35 years in. I could not have known to do it differently, because nobody was doing what I'm doing now and paying it forward and sharing that information. Hair shows were, this is 7C and 7R. This is this quadrant. I'm doing it, on zones 1 and 2, and this quadrant I'm, putting it just on zone 3, and It was very technical and very formula focused, where I had a whole jot down notebook of all the formulas that I got, and I got home and I was like, my color line doesn't have that letter. How am I supposed to do this? And never understanding that the head that's in my chair is completely different than the head that was on the stage. The starting point is completely different. I say it every week in some way, that 50% of your formula is on the hair already. Before you mix any color up, before this lovely girl got turned black and gross, she had 50% of what the formula was already on her hair. She brought it to the appointment. So if you still don't understand that, and when I say that, you're like, what is she talking about? I do have a brand new class. I'm so excited about it because if you're a member of my insiders, close your ears. You're not coming to this class because you guys get this all the time. So the first thing that happens when I announce a class, my members are so amazing. They're like, when is it? What time? I'll be, they all want to come. So this is not for Hair Color Secrets Insider members. This is a paid class. It's $47. It's virtual on Zoom. And it's called Let's Formulate. And I'm going to go through an example of this is her before, this is her after, and I will explain every single step of how we got from before to after, and most importantly, why I did what I did, why I chose what I chose, and what the thought process is in my head when I'm doing it. Now, insiders, don't be sad and think you're getting left out. This is a typical coaching call for you guys. You have me every single month, and we do this every single month. Of course, I'm going to share the replay of this other class with you so that you can see what other people saw. You're welcome to the information, but don't show up live. This is for people who are not members to get just a little taste of how amazing the membership is. I love to do those individual classes because sometimes people just can't go all in on the membership, or there's a lot of fear involved. What is it? Am I going to have enough time for it? What is it like? So that's the purpose of Let's Formulate. It's going to give you a sneak peek into, but a very, very in-depth peek. It's not going to be like a commercial by any means. It's a class. So it's called Let's Formulate. I put it in the headline of this broadcast, but let me put it here as well. You can also just go to my website, expertcolorsolutions.com/let's. Hopefully this is the right link. Bryn's always yelling at me. I always get it wrong. Somebody click on that link and tell me if that is the right link. That would be wonderful. So yeah, that's my rant for today. I am so excited to have so many of you in the membership and supporting this passion project. Of course, I will always have the biggest section of my heart dedicated to my insider members. You are what gets me out of bed excited every morning to do what I do. I can't wait to finish this project today. One of my members heard me complaining that I couldn't find the one color remover that I wanted to use. She just sent me a box in the mail. I mean, come on. I get to do this for a living and have these amazing people send me surprises in the mail. I am the luckiest woman alive, and I absolutely love hair color, love what I do, love all of you. I get excited to get on here and banter to basically myself for 30 minutes every Wednesday. My kids and my husband laugh at me. They're like, what's coffee chat tomorrow? What's the topic? I'm like, and I always have an answer, and they crack up. They're like, you seriously always know what you're gonna. I'm like, of course, I have to be prepared. And life just throws things at me. I swear it's the universe just guiding me in this passion that I have of, I woke up this morning, I have another project that I'm working on, and I'm really driving myself crazy with the branding of it and the name of it. And this morning at 6 a.m., I get this picture in my head of this circle and words around the circle for this cover. And I'm like, thank you. I don't know where it comes from. I don't know if it's family members who have passed, angels, God, universe, whatever your belief system is. There is something up there that just plants these things in my head and gives me these ideas and lets me just run with it and love what I do. So thank you for listening. As always, enjoy your coffee, enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you have an amazing week in the salon, and I hope to see you in Let's Formulate and the mentorship. I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.